Who are two guys that you could see on the opening day roster in 2024? Find out more in today's video. So in today's video, I want to go over two guys that you're probably not thinking that could make the Major League roster starting from opening day. And the one guy you might disagree with a little bit because it's most likely not going to happen, but the second one definitely has a really solid chance as of right now to make the opening day roster. So starting with number one, I'm going to start off with a guy the Mariners signed later in this offseason, and that is Brian Anderson. So in case you don't already know, Brian Anderson is a primary third baseman. Last season, he was with the Brewers where he hit .226 in 318 at-bats with 9 home runs and 40 RBIs. Currently, as it stands on this date, he is currently 3 for 7 in spring training with a double and a home run. And to me, what makes Brian Anderson so interesting is he is a career .252 hitter in 2,222 at-bats. A lot of twos going on right there. And 66 home runs and 273 RBI. So the guy has a lot of power. He hit balls out to the opposite field as well as dead center. And currently, Luis Urias isn't doing great in spring training. He's hitting .222. He has a triple and a single. And as we know, the injury there, so I don't really know if Luis Urias can be able to throw, especially coming opening day. Either way, I think Josh Rojas deserves to start, but that's besides the point. Luis Urias has a lot of injury right now, and he obviously did not come to spring training in shape, as it was said before. So that's the only reason why I would say that Brian Anderson most likely won't make the opening day roster, but I do think he's definitely a contender, especially the way he's playing right now. I think Luis Urias has a little bit more to prove before we really see him almost in an everyday role. But Brian Anderson is definitely one of those guys that could be a sneaky pickup for the Mariners this past offseason and can really make an impact coming in maybe after the All-Star break, maybe a little bit before. Kind of depends on how Urias does and if his injury really does hurt him. But I'm really impressed with what I've seen from Brian Anderson so far, and looking at some of his highlights, he really does have a lot of power. I'm talking like dead center and opposite field, which is really impressive to me, especially opposite field. And like I said, he's had some pretty good career years. So I don't know, that one's kind of a long shot in terms of if you see him on the opening day roster, because like I've said in previous videos, we did give away Isaiah Campbell for Luis Urias. So that means he's going to get some playing time no matter what, whether you like it or not. But definitely keep an eye out throughout the season for Brian Anderson. Now, this next guy I definitely think has a very solid chance at making the opening day roster. And I don't know if you guys are going to disagree or agree with me, but I'm going to go through some of his stats and kind of make you think about why this guy deserves to be on the roster. And that would be super utility Samad Taylor. So let's go over a little bit of his spring training stats so far so you can kind of get a better understanding why I think he's going to earn a spot onto the roster. So far in spring training, he's hitting .333 in 17 plate appearances with 2 home runs, 4 runs scored, 4 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. Those 2 home runs have him tied with Mitch Haniger and Mitch Garver for the most home runs this spring training so far for the Mariners. And he is also tied for second in hits with 5 hits so far. And he's also tied for second with 4 RBIs with Dom Canzone and Cal. So while yes, it is a very, very small sample size for a guy who does not hit that many home runs or has in his career, 2 home runs with 1 being to dead center is pretty damn impressive. He has yet to hit a home run at the MLB level when he was with the Royals last season, where he had 69 plate appearances to try and get one over the fence, and he didn't, but he has 2 so far and only 17 plate appearances with the Mariners. So just to give you a little bit more of background on what he did with the Royals last season, he had 69 plate appearances, like I said, where he had 11 runs scored, 4 RBIs, and 8 stolen bases, and he only hit 200. But that was in only 31 games, so like I said, a very small sample size. So here's where it gets a little bit interesting with guys like Dylan Moore and Sam Haggerty. As we know, for the past few years now, those guys have been our super utility guys that can pretty much play anywhere you put them. We've seen them at first base, second base, shortstop, outfield, pretty much everywhere. But we are also at the point with Sam Haggerty and Dylan Moore that we know what we're going to get from them. And to me, Dylan Moore is much more of a lock than Sam Haggerty is, because Dylan Moore offers a lot more power as well. And currently in spring training, Demo is hitting .364 with an RBI, so he's not doing bad at all. But unfortunately for Sam Haggerty, he's hitting .77 with 1 stolen base, so he's had 13 at-bats so far, and I believe he's only had 1 hit. So like I said, we've seen flashes from Demo that he can really be an everyday player, but will he be at some point? I'm not really sure. I think there's a lot of guys that are ahead of him. But in terms of Sam Haggerty right now, what you're seeing from Samad Taylor and Sam Haggerty, I really don't see how the Mariners could just throw Samad Taylor down to AAA and leave Sam Haggerty up. The whole point of spring training is to see what a guy can do, and right now Samad Taylor is showing you that he can play, and Sam is kind of struggling. And like I said, all of this is in small sample sizes, but the whole point of spring training is to earn a roster spot, and Samad Taylor is proving that he deserves a roster spot, especially as that super utility guy like a Sam Haggerty. So to me, Samad Taylor could be one of those guys like Josh Rojas, who's just very comfortable in a Mariner uniform and can just go out and produce this season at whatever capacity it is, whether it's 35 75 at-bats or 135 at-bats. And if you're worried about Sam Haggerty, who usually comes in to pinch run because he has the speed, Samad Taylor is right there with him, if not even faster. In 89 games at the AAA level last year, Samad Taylor had 43 stolen bases, so the guy's got some wheels. So to me, if the season were to begin today, I think Samad Taylor deserves a roster spot over Sam Haggerty. I don't think over Demo yet, just because we know Demo has shown flashes of being able to play at this level. But those are two guys that I believe have a possibility of making the roster opening day. Samad Taylor more than Brian Anderson, but I still think Brian Anderson has a shot if he keeps playing the way he is. But otherwise, please let me know what you guys think and maybe some other players that you think deserve the spot. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.